If you guys can hear me, please let me know and we will get this started. Not expecting a huge stream tonight. It's a Sunday night all-star race, but I do appreciate everyone that is here to hang out with me. Obviously don't know exactly what to expect. We do have the promoter's caution, which is going to make things a little interesting late in this race if they are forced to throw it. But we're going to be pretty much just watching the open race here, see which drivers advance. We do have 20 cars locked in. Appreciate that, Logan. Yeah, we got 20 cars already locked in. If you are on the FanDuel slate, that nothing is going to change for you. They are just running what they have. But if you're on the DraftKings side of things, you cannot yet start building because we are going to have 3 drivers advance, 2 from this open race, and then we're going to have the fan vote, which I do not have the exact fan vote list on my top of my head, but I know it's between like Carson Hocevar, SVG, or Wallace is in there. I want to say Ryan Preece, but what to expect from the open race? I'm assuming Carson Hocevar can probably race his way in. I think Ryan Preece is also another candidate to make that happen, but kind of just a guessing game currently. If you are a member over on Patreon, I do have preliminary projections posted, but please do not build with those yet. I would recommend building afterwards because then we're going to have everything updated by then. I just have some spots thrown together just to have preliminary stuff for people that wanted to look at what numbers potentially could be. Now, I got to pull the race up on my end. Of course, I cannot show the race on screen or I'll get the copyright strike here, but I do have it on my phone here, and then we'll have this on here. Yeah, Noah's also in the fan vote. He was one of the, I think there's another one. I don't know if Justin Haley might be one. But from what we've seen at this racetrack the past couple of seasons, if you start on the pole, very good chance you can just hold ground unless you really screw it up. It's pretty hard to mess this up if you do have the preferred spot on this restart or at the jump of the race. And I'm pretty sure that's SVG still holding the lead. Now, the way this qualifying grid took place was just based off the pit crew competition / the qualifying lap. SVG had the best one of the bunch. So it wasn't like it was just purely based off speed on track performance. But we will see what ends up happening. I do think Carson Hocevar can probably win this, or at least contend for it. I want to say the odds-on favorite for it was, I believe, Hocevar, Preece, and then Ty Gibbs, if I remember correctly. But let me pull a couple of things up here. Do a dono here from CGen. Appreciate that. It says, is 250 laps enough dominator points to play 2 with the salaries we have this week? Yeah, I think playing... Hold on, I'm just seeing someone go up in the wall. I think that was Noah Gregson. It's a little small on my phone. It's the only space I had to watch it. Yeah, Noah Gregson looks like he went up into the wall. Still SVG, and then we have the 2 Spire cars, Hocevar and McDowell, P2 and P3 here. Trying to see. Not much in the moving department. Zane Smith and John Nemechek are up 2 spots, which is the most of any driver. So not getting too much there. SVG so far still led every lap. Nemechek and Allmendinger now up 3 spots. But yeah, I think 2 dominators is perfectly fine. I think a lot of people can probably end up going with Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell in your lineups today, and that's not a horrible thing to do. Over on DraftKings, on FanDuel, you can probably get away with not having a ton of Brad, but at the same time, it's when you start on the pole here, I mean, if you just soak in those dominator points and don't screw up, you'll have the track position. And it's not like tires are really wearing too much. He held off fresh tires in his heat race for drivers that I thought were probably better than him. Now, based off of what I'm seeing in this open race currently, Ryan Preece looks pretty quick. He is in traffic and he's still laying down some fast laps. As you guys can see on my screen here, he's lighting up green. And I do think he's probably the best driver. Or at least, yeah, I hate to say that because, you know, you have Ty Gibbs and JGR and Bubba Wallace. But I think for a track this style, Ryan Preece would be my preferred guy to win, just based off the talent, what we've seen so far this year. But it'll be tough to make up a few positions, that's for sure. But yeah, to answer your question, CGen 2 is 100% fine. And honestly, building today is just tough because there's so many scenarios you can run with. Like, is this going to be just zero passing at all? Are the cautions even going to matter? Like, your guy's going to pit and other guys stay out? Or is he going to flip the field? I don't know. I don't really. It's tough to say. I'm definitely not playing heavy for this race by any means. And plus, we have the promoter's caution at the end. This could shuffle things. Maybe it only shuffles a couple of things and it really ends up not being such a big deal. So, it's tough. It's tough. Over on DraftKings, though, I really would want to start with either Brad Keselowski or Christopher Bell. You can play both, but someone's got to lead this race, and there's enough laps to where that really matters. 250 laps, like, yeah, you can't just completely ignore dominators. Sure, guys like Kyle Larson, guys like Denny Hamlin offer a nice safe floor because they can probably race their way into the top 10. I think Kyle Larson can potentially race his way in the top 5, but he doesn't have that dominator ceiling guy like Christopher Bell has. I mean, Christopher Bell could score close to 100 points in this race if things went perfect for him. Same can be said for Brad Keselowski. Unless some crazy strategy happens and Kyle Larson finds his way in P1 somehow, which I think is unlikely, he's just going to have like a ceiling maxed out where the other guys have a really high ceiling. All right, from what I'm seeing so far, SVG is running away, and I think we all know how bad SVG has been this year, and I think that really just goes to show how important track position is. I mean, if SVG can completely dust these guys, it probably tells you the best. Ryan Preece is still, looks like he's the fastest. Sorry, I'm just watching. Looks like Hocevar and McDowell are battling. Oh, yeah, they really got into it right there. But what that's doing is just really helping out SVG. He's running away. About a 1.5 second lead now at this point. Ryan Preece, another fast lap. So looking at the last 5 lap averages, SVG, Preece, which, you know, is pretty impressive being back in traffic in P5, John Nemechek, Ty Gibbs, Hoba Wallace. It's just, you know, such a short race. I'm not sure if they're going to have time to get up there. But, you know, you still have roughly 80 laps left, so it might happen. I'm sure we're going to get a caution at some point. Well, of course we will, but we'll see how many we end up getting. Got a donor here from Pugsley. Appreciate that, sir. Says, right now I got Blaney, Denny, Bell, Preece, Brad, and I threw in Ty Dillon for now. Well, I can tell you right now, you can take Ty Dillon out of your lineup. That's not happening, I don't think. And Preece, that's another one that's going to be iffy. But I feel like you can very comfortably take out Ty Dillon unless something crazy happens. From the looks of it, I mean, of course, SVG has clean air. I doubt he has the best car here, but I think Ryan Preece is probably the best. We will see if he can pass these 2 Spire cars in front of him. They've been really battling, and Preece definitely looks like he's quicker than him. Looks like he's side by side with McDowell anyway right now, so I'm sure he's going to pick him off. But I feel pretty good about Preece maybe getting in there, at least a P2. We will see if we can pass the leader. But SVG might be able to get his way in there just based off the race. What's up, Johnny? Who you starting with for your cash builds over on FanDuel tonight? Is Larson a lock? Should I play Hamlin 2 or fade? What's the optimal for FanDuel looking like if you can? Thanks as always. Yeah, FanDuel, you can start building over on FanDuel right now because they will not be adding the open drivers. I have not yet built personally. Let me see what some of the top builds look like. I currently have Kyle Larson as my highest projected FanDuel driver, and that's not the same as over on DraftKings. Because on DraftKings, Christopher Bell is getting those diameter points. That adds up a lot quicker. On FanDuel, you're only getting 0.1 for a lap led, and that's it. No fast laps, nothing. So Kyle Larson projects better than Bell on FanDuel. Bell projects better than Larson on DraftKings. But right now, FanDuel Optimal has 3 drivers in the top 3. But the projections are so close where I don't really think you need to follow projections to a T this weekend, at least if you're looking at my stuff. Because I have a lot of variance in my projections. And when there's only 20 drivers in the field, everyone's going to be within like a couple of points for the most part. You know, in similar price ranges. Like Larson and Bell are within 2 points, 1.5. Chastain and Keselowski are within 2 points. They're in the similar price range. So, but I do think Kyle Larson is definitely a building block over there. If you want to just go the full safe strategy, I would probably throw in Hamlin. I'm assuming he's not going to be as bad as he was in the heat race. And then Christopher Bell. And you can easily start with those 3. Bell, Hamlin, Kyle Larson. Although I want to say Ryan Blaney, one of my favorite tournament plays. I was very impressed with how he looked in his heat race. He was in traffic and he still had one of the best cars. He was able to pass. Not many guys were able to do that, and he had to pass cars twice because he ended up having the speeding penalty while he worked his way back up. Had to do it again. Was probably going to finish second until he ended up having contact with Chastain and William Byron, and then he just kind of quit after that. But I was very impressed with Blaney in his heat race, so I will be overweight on him in GPPs. All right, I looked down. Looks like Priest did end up passing Michael McDowell, and he is currently working pretty hard on Carson Hocevar. I'm assuming he's going to make this pass. We will see if once he is able to do this, unless Carson Hocevar does go full terrace mode, which he has been known for many, many times. We will see if he can end up tracking down SVG. It's obviously going to be very difficult to do. Fincham's about to go a lap down. I don't know why he's here, running a 19.2. But SVG another fast lap, and he's about 3 seconds away from the top two. So I'm not really sure if they're going to, at least for this first stint. All right, let me roll over here. I can turn a fan on. It's hot in here. All right. So a couple of drivers I wanted to look at. Bubba Wallace, Ty Gibbs. Gibbs is in 7th. Doesn't look amazing or anything. Seeing Bubba in 10th. Not sure he's going to be able to make his way back up there. But yeah, Priest is really trying to work on... I can't hear the audio of what they are saying because I don't want to get flagged by Fox or anything on stream or YouTube. But it's going to be tough to pass Hocevar, that's for sure. But I definitely think Priest has the better car. Appreciate the dono spread. Go C-Pen, go Blaney. I agree. I think Blaney is going to be good tonight. We will see if he can win. Passing the leader is going to be probably next to impossible tonight. We saw that in the heat race with Keselowski. I mean, who was it, Chastain or Byron? I mean, they could not get around them. Or no, sorry. Thinking of the wrong heat race, I'm pretty sure. No. Let me double check. I can't remember which heat race. Okay, yeah, Keselowski was with Byron and Chastain and Blaney. And then Bell was in the one with... Okay. What's up, Ryan? What's the chalk lineup? Bell and Larson stack the back. That's definitely going to be a very popular starting point on DraftKings today. And then after that, I think a lot of people do mainly go with place differential. But it's going to depend on who races their way in. If Priest makes his way in, I really like him. I think he can be a borderline top 10 finisher by the end if he's able to race his way in. He's got a ton of PD. Forget what his price tag is. Yeah, they got him at 7,600, which pricing is not much of an issue anyway. So I would like Priest, but anyone that races their way in will have a nice built-in floor at the very least. What's up, Dustin? Hope you win the big one. Who's your favorite driver in the 5 and 6K range? I think Bell wins it. And how do you really feel about Buescher? Well, we don't really... Well, I doubt any driver in the 5 or 6K range. Well, let me see what price SVG is. SVG, what is he on DraftKings? If he races his way in, he's 5,300. He's cheaper than Harrison Burton. I mean, I guess I would like him over Harrison Burton. You get the extra 5-6 place differential spots and a little bit cheaper. But right now, my favorite in the 5 and 6K range is, I mean, it's got to be Brad Keselowski. I mean, Keselowski offers you something that none of the other 6K drivers can, and that's a path to just dominating this race and potentially winning. You know, Suarez is not going to do that. Neither is Austin Dillon, Stenhouse, and definitely not Harrison Burton. So, I mean, it's got to be Brad. Of course, like, if Bell just bodies him on the jump of the race and Brad just fades back to 8th, like, sure, it's not a good play, but I mean, the potential is just huge for Brad in this one. Like, he has a floor projection for me of 6, but a ceiling of 71.4. If you compare that to the other 6K drivers, like Stenhouse's floor projection is 16, which is better, but he has a ceiling of 46.8. Dillon a 14 floor, 50.3 ceiling. So when you can get me an extra 20-ish on a medium projection of a ceiling, I mean, that looks very appealing for tournaments, of course. And he's still going to be chalky on this slate, but I guess you get what I'm saying. All right, looks, I must have missed something. Looks like Todd Gilliland's 3 laps down. I'm assuming he had a tire issue. I wasn't looking at my screen here, but he's off the... But he'll be irrelevant now. Don't have to worry about him. Looks like Ryan Priest has still not been able to complete the pass on Carson Hocevar, and that's definitely not going to be an easy thing to do. Zane Smith just laid down a fast lap, and looking at the last 5, we still have Ryan Preece in the 2nd position, even though he is behind Carson Hocevar, and Ty Gibbs, Zane Smith, and Ty Dillon. No problem at all. That's Will. Nothing really to do right now besides just watching this open race and seeing what's going to unfold here. But right now, it's just the SVG show. And like I said, that makes things look good for Brad. Obviously, Carson Hocevar is no Christopher Bell, but when you have the pole position here, it's very easy to control the early portion of this race. And if Brad does something similar to what SVG is doing at his price tag, and he just doesn't wreck out, which I know is something he has done quite often this year. I won't disagree with that, but it should be easy pickings on Dominator points. Dustin says, not even gonna lie, it's sad seeing Keselowski have such a rough year. Last year he was a great fantasy driver. Yeah, it's just been tons of, early portion of the season, Brad had 0 speed. Like, he just plain out sucked. Now, second half of this early portion of the season, he's had a lot of speed, but man, just bad luck. I believe Darlington, he was up front in the top 10 at the very least, and he ends up having the lug come loose. Last week, he was probably going to pass for the lead, if we're being honest. Brad might have won the race last week, and then he has the tire go down as he was closing in. I think it was on Chase Elliott at the time. So, very unfortunate for Brad so far. He's had some other bad luck too, but who knows? This could be the turning point of his season if he just completely controls this race and maybe he takes on the Millie. Who knows? I don't project him. I'm not projecting him to win this race. I have Christopher Bell as the projected winner, but I think Brad can certainly make some noise if he has a perfect race. Hello, Mom. Hopefully we have a live stream. And yeah, Joey should be good for this one. He should be good. He won this last year, and he'll be a threat. I'm sure he'll run top 5 all day, probably. Let's see, I think we have, Nemechek and Bubba fighting it out right now. Yeah, Bubba's up a position. Bubba's going to probably have to win the fan vote. I don't see how he can make up that much ground. Let's see. Yeah, Priest is kind of faded back from Hocevar, over a 2nd deficit on that now. It looks like Hocevar's maybe gained a little bit on SVG, but not enough to even make any. Yeah, Hocevar currently 19.15 in the last 5, SVG 19.19. And Ty Gibbs actually slotting in 3rd, and Priest faded back a little bit on the time chart there, but we should be getting our caution at lap 50. Is that how this works? Lap 50? A lot of re-racks and things. It'll make something interesting. Hocevar or Priest are going to have to probably move SVG out of the way or something, because I don't know. What's up, Hunter? Evening, Chris. Let's win so I don't starve. Yeah. So last week, early in the race, I promised Hunter in Discord, if I take down the 20 max on FanDuel, I will send him $50. And then I didn't think I was going to win it. And then I win the 20 max. It was a very nice payout. So I had to send Hunter $50, but you know what? We'll feed him for the week. So hopefully you enjoyed that. What's up, Clint? Happy race day to y'all. Yeah. Happy race day, Clint. Hopefully all goes well for us. Quan says Austin or Suarez. Austin Dillon, I'm assuming. Because it could be Austin Cindric. Let me see who's closer in price here. Both are pretty close. Either way, I'm taking Austin Dillon over Suarez, and I'm also taking Austin Cindric over Suarez. So that covers both bases. What's up, CJ? Aloha to you as well. Thank you for stopping in. Steve says, Bunny getting that Millie tonight? I hope so. He deserves a win at something. But yeah, he looked really good in his heat race. I was impressed. Competition caution, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. If no one tries to move SVG out of the way, I don't see how that we just don't have the exact same replica of what we just saw for the first 50 laps. It's so easy to run away at this track. This track is horrible for the next stud car. Let's see. I can't, CJ. She's like a 20-hour drive away from you, or I would, trust me. All right, so if you're looking at my screen, if the names are not white bolded, they are pitting. But based off what I'm seeing on TV, everyone's pitting, so it might just be lagging behind a little bit. I don't think anyone's staying out. It's hard to see the screen on my phone, but I don't think I saw. Yeah, it looks like everyone's in. It was just Todd Gillen rolling around. So we'll see. I guess we'll see how pit road. This could flip some things around, actually. So let's see. It looks like Bubba took 2 tires. I want to say Ty Gibbs took 2 as well. SVG took 4. Okay, well, we have some fun now. Things did get flipped, so this could be a little bit more interesting. So we have Hocevar in P1, McDowell in 2nd, Bubba in 3rd, SVG's back in 6th or 7th, I believe. The screen's not accurate right now. You know how NASCAR is. If you guys have ever looked at the app, it takes a little bit for it to completely get the right order, just based off the timing line. But this should get a little more interesting, at least. At least we don't have to see an SVG parade. Josh says I've only cashed once this year. Oh, I hope so. It only takes 1 week, though. That's for sure. Spread says Bubba does have a fast Toyota crew. Yeah, I mean, their crew is good. Obviously, some dumb mistakes happen, but, when things go well, their crew is pretty fast. Hello, Miss Jules. Hello, this is the night race. Yeah, we had a fun time to hang out all day. It was great. But, yeah, your cinnamon muffins should be fantastic, and I cannot wait to try some. But yeah, we're gonna need all the luck we can get for a track like this, that's for sure. Or I should say a race. I mean, the track's not crazy or anything. It's just a random yellow at the end. Who knows? Doc D says Harrison Burton for I don't know about that. He'll most likely have the slowest cars. So we'll see what happens. No, Hunter, we cannot postpone for Indy qualifying because as far as I'm concerned, it seems like Indy qualifying has gone on all weekend. I feel like every hour of the day you tell me there's Indy qualifying on. So it sounds like they can go whenever. What's up, Aaron? Truex are log out. There's been a lot of logging out last year. And we had one Truex experience this year, and it was definitely a log out situation. Appreciate you, Daniel. Yeah, always got to get the eyebrows perfect. You know how it is. Jeff Gordon for the win. He's in all my lineups. I wish Jeff Gordon was racing. That'd be fun. I was racing some NASCAR 09 on the PS2 like 2 days ago. I was using Jeff Gordon. I love the car tomorrow cars with the wing. Looks amazing. And I was using some Jeff Gordon because his paint scheme is always fantastic. Silva says everyone there will be no passing tonight. No. And there's going to be shuffling, though, and that's when the passing happens. Guys get shuffled around. There's always going to be like 1 or 2 cars that can make things work, like most weeks. But other than that, it's probably going to be pretty gridlock, if I had to imagine. Or you're going to have to push someone out of the way, and they'll spin at the top of the track. It's basically how you pass tonight. Paul says this is a crapshoot gambling. Well, absolutely. I'm playing much less than what I normally do. Enough to be entertained, enough to have a chance. Basically it. So I'm curious to see how these 4 tires work versus 2, because I'll be honest, from what we've seen, they haven't really mattered too much. So we'll see. So SVG should be the first one on 4, I believe, and then Priest the second, assuming they took 4. I'm pretty sure they did. Like I said, I cannot hear my screen. It looks like Hocevar cleared for P1. Pretty sure. I can't. Is that Ty Gibbs in second? Yeah, Ty Gibbs in second. We'll see how 4 tires works, but I'll be honest, I'm not really too confident in it. Hoping Michael McDowell doesn't make it. I mean, I don't want to play Michael McDowell. Whoever wants to play Michael McDowell. Looks like Ty Gibbs is clearing him though. Looks like Ty Gibbs cleared, but I feel like we'll get 1 caution in this that's not manufactured. I feel like someone's got to move someone, right? Oh, sounds like Priest and SVG are just getting completely blocked by Zane Smith there. So he's definitely oh, they're squeezing him now. Looks like Priest almost got into the wall a little bit, maybe. I can't tell. But they put him in the middle. Looks like they're going to clear him. Yeah, they got around him. So now we can actually see if these fresh tires do anything. Do I like Elliott or Logano? I have a slight preference towards Chase Elliott, but I'll be honest, they're the same exact play. And I cannot go too in-depth for this race, because if I was going too in-depth and gave you a big statistical analysis, I would just be making stuff up. You know, it's the All-Star race. All these guys are running the same exact lap times, pretty much. Like, it's just going to depend on how these shuffle at the end. And if you do expect there to be a lot of shuffling, I mean, the guys with PD makes sense, but you're definitely going to need some guys up front to soak in those potential dominator points for sure. I can't tell. Is that Priest? It looks like Priest is making some ground on McDowell and Bubba Wallace here. We'll see if he can get around him. Looks like he's going inside on McDowell. He should be able to make that pass. Yeah. Oh. He's in it. All right, he got him. Okay. And he should be able to get Bubba Wallace here. So that'll put him in what, third? Yeah, that puts Priest in third. So we'll see if he can make some ground up here. He had almost 2/10 on Ty Gibbs that last lap. So we'll see if he can get the P2 here and potentially run down Carson Hocevar. But it doesn't look like SVG is making this work at all. He's stuck in 7th from what I can see. So you might have to rely on the fan vote now, but Ryan Priest is definitely making some work. And like I said, if he gets into the All-Star event, I definitely think he'll be an intriguing DFS play just overall. Phone's like 37. I mean, it's YouTube TV, so you know how delayed it can be for sure. Fourth and one says, "Come on, CP. I need two that can do damage." Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. Eric Jones, the only money for Mountain Dew this week. Is that what a sponsor is? I have no idea. I haven't really been paying attention too much of the open cars, at least sponsor wise. I always liked when Dale Jr. had the Mountain Dew on. Four tires doesn't work. I mean, Priest is looking pretty solid. Obviously, he's back to where he was before we came in. But he's pretty close on Ty Gibbs. I'm assuming he's going to make this pass at some point. Espo says Blaney is an option on DraftKings. Yeah, he's absolutely an option on DraftKings. I think Ryan Blaney is probably one of the better tournament plays on DraftKings overall. He should be pretty strong. Who's watching what says... All the players with a question mark on DraftKings are the ones waiting to see who the last 3 are in. Yes, that is correct. Unless you must be talking to someone else. Let's see. Oh, how can Ryan Priest? Yeah, so basically anybody that's in the open race, right now they're going to have a Q tag. It's not like they're injured or anything. It's just we're going to have 3 advance. The top 2, so whoever finishes 1-2 on the screen that you're looking at right now or on your TV. And as I just saw, Ryan Priest did make the pass on Ty Gibbs. We will see if he can run down Carson Hocevar. I mean, the 4 tires might work if your car is good enough. And Ryan Priest, I do think, has a good enough car to do some damage in this race. I don't think he's going to win the All-Star race by any means, but he should be able to make some passes. This is a track that suits his style. And pretty impressed with him so far. Looks good. Piece is not the same, but tires decided Xfinity. But we only had trucks this weekend, if that's what you're referencing. The only thing that mattered in trucks was Corey Heim wrecking, but I just saw we got a yellow. So I don't know what it is. I'm behind, but hold on. Is that Riley Herbst? All right, looks like Riley Herbst had a bit of an issue, but I don't know if it was anything worth throwing the yellow. I don't know. I don't see much. Obviously, I can't hear what's happening. Debris got on the track, but I'm assuming NASCAR wants any reason they can to throw yellow to spice this up. Yeah, Coach. The drivers that race in, they'll be starting 21st, 22nd, and then the fan vote winner will start 23rd. So they'll all offer a good amount of PD. What's up, Sean? Good morning to you as well. How much money am I leaving on the table? It's going to depend on who makes it in, honestly, but I feel like I'll be using pretty much the large chunk of my salary because I like Larson, I like Hamlin, I like Blaney, I like those guys up top. So, oh, he did get into the wall pretty good there. I only saw the tail end of it. It didn't look like much, but looks like something with McDowell. I threw him in the wall, that's for sure. So how many laps do we have left? Only 20. So, and we could see some guys get moved here at the end. Guys getting a little desperate here. Maybe something from Ty Gibbs or Wallace who are on the outside looking in currently. McDowell killed Herbst. And it sort of looked like. I didn't think it was on Herbst. It looked like McDowell kind of shoved him up in the wall. What's up, Screwy? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. This one says Blaney was there, but not an option right now. No, if he's not on right, I mean, I'm not looking at it, of course, currently, but everyone's going to be there at the end. You can 100% play Blaney for this race. Maybe it's just because they have the open drivers on. I don't know. All right, looks like we have some split strategy here. I'm seeing, from what I see about half the drivers in. All right, so the ones on the screen here, the ones that are in white, did end up staying out. Yeah, I wouldn't really have expected Hocevar or Priest to come in. I mean, they need to work with that track position because they're not going to have enough time to be able to work their way through the field again. Chad Fincham staying out sounds like a disaster. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, Priest in the 8. Yeah, Priest, I mean, he looks good. I mean, he's been able to pass some cars, which is not exactly easy to do, that's for sure. Nah, I don't know if he's going to win this. I mean, it's near impossible to pass the leader, that's for sure. But hopefully, I mean, he should be just fine slotting into second. He doesn't need to push it too much. He just needs to defend his ground currently. Coach said Gilly ran over his tire changer. Did he really? I didn't see that. Doc says Keselowski will hit a ghost out front and right. He probably will. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with that. Keselowski has just been so snake bitten this year. I think Ryan Blaney's in the snake bitten category, although not as bad as Brad. Not as bad. But Wallace has been there as well. Notorious says Brad's ownership is going up with every lap SVG leads. That's potentially true. I mean, when I see that, I'm like, yeah. Like, it makes me feel pretty good about Brad. Now, the one thing is, if we get a caution and some guys maybe split the strategy up and he has a poor pit stop, that's what can hurt Brad. But I think by then he should be able to have led enough laps to make that work. It's TBT. I mean, Bell could wipe him out at the very beginning. That's in the cards too. That's why he has a floor projection of 6. But ceiling projection is 71 because, you can hit that ceiling, if not more. I mean, there's a good amount of laps. It's not Bristol or Martinsville, but I mean, over 200 laps is no joke. I mean, you want a Dominator for sure, if not 2. I currently think Bell has the best car, but we're going to see in this restart, I think Priest has the best car in this field, and we'll see if they can pass Hocevar. I mean, Hocevar is not bad either, but at the same time, just having that track position, even one spot, can make all the difference. So Hunter says, Larson, Joey Bell need 3 more on DraftKings. I don't know yet currently. I would like to say Ryan Priest would be a good option, but I don't know. He could get wrecked here. I don't know. But, I mean, Keselowski is also going to be fine. I know you need some cheaper drivers in there. But it's going to be TBT. Looks like I missed the restart here. But I'm seeing Bubba Wallace in second. Okay, I missed what happened. I see Ryan Preece at the very bottom of my screen. He's in 16th, so I don't know what happened. I guess that's what I get for looking down for a second. So, Preece dead? Man, I completely missed it. I have no idea. I looked down for a second. I see Ryan Preece just completely gone. So he's back in 14th now. Gained a couple of spots back, but he must have just completely screwed something up. Well, you can kiss him goodbye. He is not going to make the main event anymore. That's why I said things could change in a hurry. That's for sure. Preece to the back. Oh, did he just have a penalty? He screwed up on the choose. Oh, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Missed the choose. Goodness. Yeah, that's I mean, you can't do that kind of stuff. But he's going to be irrelevant now, so that sucks. So it looks like we're looking at Hocevar and Bubba Wallace. I guess he could win he's in the fan vote contention, is he not? I don't know. I would vote for Ryan Preece personally, but I have a bad feeling SVG is going to win the fan vote. John or Nemechek getting in over Bubba would be kind of insane. I would prefer that not to happen. I'd feel better with Bubba Wallace in the field, but I guess Nemechek would give you another cheaper option. I think his price tag is what? $5,800, but Wallace is $8,300. I mean, if Nemechek makes, yeah, he looks like he did pass Bubba Wallace, although they're kind of battling on my screen right now, but looks like Nemechek has the advantage. Yeah, he just cleared him. So, I mean, Nemechek offers us a cheap option here. I mean, I'd prefer him over Harrison Burton. You give me $300 more, and obviously there should be more juice in that car. And he won't be able to go backwards, maybe one spot, of course, because the fan vote. Just saying, potentially if this race ended now, but we only have 8 laps left. And Bubba Wallace just nuked himself, so he's out of contention. I don't know who would win the fan vote, to be honest. Could be Bubba, could be SVG, but I guess I don't really have a strong take on who it would be. I don't even know who I'd vote for. No problem at all, Screwy. Figure this is the best way to go live. Just talk about the open race and see how that's going. And do some quick questions there, but then I got to get the projections out for the people over on Patreon afterwards. But if you are a member over on Patreon, projections shouldn't be too long. Just got to run some sims and whatnot, and that typically doesn't take a great while. So I'm seeing, we got some legacy action here. Eric Jones is going to be on John Nemechek here, so we'll see if we have some friendly fire, but we're running out of laps. I'm seeing 6 to go on my screen, or 5 to go now. But Nemechek's got about a half second on Eric Jones. Hocevar is going to be fine. Sean says everybody should bet Seabell 6-1. Yeah, if Hard Rock had that last night, Sean, I would have loved to bet Seabell at 6. Because now he's at plus 190. I saw, I think at Caesars, I think DraftKings had him at 200 or something. But yeah, that number is long gone. So congratulations on that. Yeah, LA7. Preece has been really good. I mean, Preece was in my winning lineup last week. And I was very happy about that. So thank you, Ryan Preece. He's been great. That's for sure. Yeah, Sean got a great number. I couldn't bet it currently because I was waiting for Hard Rock to drop odds, and they just obviously didn't give me a Bell 6-1. That's for sure. I think it reopened at 475. I want to say. All right, I'm seeing 2 to go here. Hocevar, comfortable lead. He should be fine. Looks like it's going to be Hocevar and Nemechek. Then it comes down to the fan vote, which hopefully they announce shortly afterwards. SVG's out of this. Ryan Preece raced his way back up to 11th, but obviously that's not going to be it. So I need to look up the entire fan vote list here because I know I'm forgetting a couple of people. Well, it would help if the NASCAR website had the list of drivers. All right, so officially we're going to have Hocevar and Nemechek in. Nemechek, I mean, do I think he's going to be great? No, but he's free, and he has a ton of PD upside. Looks like Ty Dillon got up to third. I did tell somebody I don't think we have to worry about Ty Dillon. He ends up getting to third, so I apologize for that. But anyway. Yeah, Hunter in the Discord said, bet Chandler Smith live. I think he was ripping his way through the field, and ends up, obviously crazy stuff happened at the end, but he was a really fast truck the entire day. I mean, he was definitely a deserving winner. If not, obviously, if it was not going to be Corey Heim, it should have been Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith was awesome yesterday. All right, Josh Barry Keselowski on FanDuel. I currently have Brad projected higher, but man, the floor doesn't feel great on that. I'm currently waiting to hear who the fan vote winner is, because this could change a few things around. Looks like they're highlighted. Is that Noah Gragson's fan vote winner? Kind of surprised we had Noah Gragson's the fan vote winner. I thought let me see what his price tag is. So Gragson's not super cheap. He's $7,300, but I mean, he starts dead last. You can only go up, and your floor at that point is only going to be. So starting 23rd, the worst you can do is roughly 20 points. I mean, it's better than what some guys can do. I'm surprised Gragson won the fan vote. I didn't think he would. I'm not anti-Gragson or anything, but I did think it was going to be Bubba or SVG. All right. I guess now we can answer some questions better. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet here. And I got to fix the drivers that are not in. So the random ones I put in were Gibbs, Hocevar, and Priest. We got Hocevar right. Priest would have made it, but we saw what happened there. All right, so we have Carson Hocevar in 21st. John Hunter Nemechek is in 22nd. And then we're going to have Noah Gragson in 23rd. I think we were kind of expecting Hocevar in there, but definitely not Nemechek and Gragson. All right, 1 second. Oh, Ty Gibbs. Then we got Noah Gragson. All right. And let me pull up the spreadsheet here so we have something else to look at, because this is useless now. Okay, so we have the field set here. I'm going to sort this by qualifying currently. So, yeah, in the back, I mean, all these guys are going to be playable just because. I mean, if things shuffle around, if guys DNF or guys spin out, they limp their way to 15th. Like if Nemechek finishes 15th tonight, you're very happy about that. If Gragson finishes 13th, you're happy about that. What's up, Comment God? New to NASCAR? If you're new to NASCAR, I don't know about this race for you. This might make you not like it, to be honest. But this is the All-Star race, and it's a bit of a wacky thing. 3 drivers race their way in. That is the 3 highlighted here. These are the only drivers that are questionable that will end up in this race, and they'll be starting in the back here. So this is your qualifying grid, unless I mess something up. I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Yeah, I like Noah. I mean, Noah has shown some speed this year. He's another guy that just kind of wrecks a lot, whether it be his own fault or not. But let's see. Yeah, I figured you would be happy, Hunter. President of the Noah Gragson fan club, yeah. You might have rigged the vote or something, spent all day voting Noah. I don't know. You can't hear him here, Ernest T. I don't know if he's kidding or not. What's up, Agabo? Goat is on an unprecedented winning streak. Yeah. Yes, he is. Would you fade Keselowski for single entry on DraftKings? I like Brad. I mean, it's hard not to lead laps starting in first. It really is. I mean, he could end up scoring more points than Christopher Bell today, and he's $3K cheaper. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I don't have him projected to score more points than Christopher Bell, but my goodness, the upside is there. It really is. All right, let me turn stream off here. So let me see, 6:30 locks of what, 8. Like I said, I got to update the projections and stuff for the Patreon members because that's only fair to them. It's not going to take too long, so I will answer some more questions and then I'll get everything updated over on the site for you all. Obviously, projections are going to be very tight. It's the All-Star race. I don't think anyone really exactly knows what's going to happen in this one, but it should be interesting nonetheless. So let me sort this by price tag here. Just give a quick rundown. Like ownership-wise, Larson and Hamlin are going to eat up a ton. I mean, they're two of the best drivers in the field. Obviously, Denny Hamlin's heat race would indicate his car is trash. I'm assuming it's not going to be. I mean, he just can't be 2/10 worse than a Rick Ware car. Swung for the fences. Some strategy didn't work out, whatever it may be. But this is heat race 1 and just their average speed in the laps. I took out the caution laps. Keselowski in the pole, of course, you're going to have the fastest car. Blaney had a lot of traffic. Him being a third in his average lap time, I thought was pretty impressive. If you're looking at Heat 2, Chris Bell, I mean, he controlled the race. Of course, you're going to have the best lap times. But other drivers I was impressed with. I thought Kyle Busch looked pretty good. He might not project great most places today just because of his starting position, but I think he can be kind of sneaky. Chase Elliott also had traffic to work with. But I'm not really sure how much you want to take away from this. But this is the heat races and their average lap times right here. And just I scraped it off from NASCAR, so yeah, I don't really know what I want to take away from that, but it is what it is. So I guess the main strategy for this race, because I feel like a lot of people just have no idea what to do, and I'll be honest, I don't feel super confident what we should do, but I think probably the best strategy is grabbing 1 to 2 potential lap leaders. So Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell, that would be a very good starting point. Of course, you can mix in the Byrons, the Elliots, the Logano's. They can make some noise. The Blaneys. But I think a lot of people go with Larson, they go with Hamlin, they go with Christopher Bell, some combination of those 3, whether it be 2 or all 3. And if you need a cheap lap leader, Brad Keselowski slots in quite nicely. And if he can lead 60 laps in this race, that as long as he doesn't wreck out, that's going to be enough, assuming he doesn't die. And then you're looking at some of the cheaper PD plays. John Nemechek starting in 22nd. If you need a cheap guy, he gets you 4 extra PD spots compared to Harrison Burton. His car is better than Harrison Burton, I'm assuming, so I feel pretty good about that as the cheap pump play. Other than that, you're just kind of mixing and matching. Guys that don't project very well for me, at least on the preliminary run before this open race happened, didn't project well were Buescher, Bowman, and Kyle Busch. But like I said, Busch still intrigues me in GPPs. I don't think projections are going to be the end-all be-all for this race because, of course, it's the All-Star race. So if you want to use kind of your gut on some things, you can do that. Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe are just going to project better than them, just naturally because they offer more PD upside. And before strategy got a little bit weird, they did look good in their heat races. Other guys I'm not really getting to. Daniel Suarez, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, and Austin Dillon. Other guys that just aren't really popping too much. Now, one guy that really pops on FanDuel that maybe is not so much popping on DraftKings is Josh Berry. He's only $6,000 over there, and that's barely more than Suarez, not that much more than Harrison Burton, Ricky Stenhouse. He slots in nicely as a cheap play. I'm not expecting a ton of PD out of Josh Berry, but at the same time, if he just kind of sticks it in the top 10 all day on FanDuel at that low price tag, it's probably enough. Kyle Busch, another guy that looks better on FanDuel than he does on DraftKings. So that's like a quick, muddy rundown. It's hard to go too in-depth here, guys, just because it is what it is. Obviously, no Gregson, Carson Hocevar. They offer the PD. Maybe some people built earlier in the day and they're not going to be as owned as they should, but it's not going to be crazy. Maybe a few decimal points off. It's not going to be like they're 2% owned because nobody watched the heat race or the open race, I guess. But I got a donor here from Jay Swain. Appreciate that. Says, thanks as always, CP. Good luck. Looking forward to next week. Let's get it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. We have the Coke 600 night race. It's going to be another evening stream. Should be a fun one. Probably going to be a Kyle Larson parade, but we'll see what ends up happening in practice and qualifying. I will answer some questions here before we get out of here. And like I said, on FanDuel, you can't play the open drivers, and that's why their price tags are blank, because they are not going to add them afterwards. You're just dealing with the first 20 drivers from yesterday. I checked Bob's Twitter, Astro, and the only thing I see is IndyCar propaganda. So, I mean, I usually have a bot for him in my Discord, and I had to turn him off because it's just Indy. So, I looked earlier, though. I don't see anything from Bob. I didn't really see anything from anybody. I'm going to assume the 11 team is not going to show up with a car worse than Harrison Burton. If he is, I mean, I like Kyle Larson more than Denny anyway. So I'm going to be more inclined on playing Kyle Larson. And I also think Blaney's a very interesting pivot. Like, let's just say Denny finishes 12th. But, I mean, Blaney has a legit shot at winning the race. I really think he does. I don't have him as the favorite, but I think he's got a shot at it. Oh, let's see. Yeah, BK has had some terrible luck. Absolutely. Will not disagree with that. But, of course, the track position here means so much. Brad's a better DraftKings play than he is on FanDuel. I think that's pretty easy to say, for sure. Because if Brad leads 30 laps, that's nothing on FanDuel. Nothing. 30 laps on DraftKings, though, at his price point, I mean, that can be a lot, depending on the fast laps. I think Josh Berry's a better play on FanDuel than DraftKings, Sean. I mean, he's playable, sure, but the price tag really sticks out on FanDuel. And we don't have the open drivers also. Like Hocevar and Gregson race their way in. They have a ton more PD, so they're going to be probably a little more appealing on DraftKings. Let's see. Appreciate you too, Screwy. What's up, Dustin? Does it matter how many drivers in your lineup in top 10 starting position? No, I don't really think it matters. I mean, half the field starting in the top 10 for this race, so it's not like we have a 40-car field. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Now, would I have every single driver in the top 10? No, probably not. But, I mean, if you had 4 in the top 10, that's... Like, say you played Brad, you played Bell, you're locking in the dominator points. You play Busch because you're getting a little funky. You play Chastain because you think you can run top 4. I mean, it can work. It's hard to say too many people are bad plays on this slate. I think probably the lowest owned are going to be Suarez, Stenhouse, Burton, probably Austin Dillon. I don't think Buescher and Bowman are going to be too owned. I feel like those are probably going to be the lowest owned, just kind of eyeballing it. What's up, Robert? Hey, Chris, who am I outrights? I did not bet anything for this race. I'm not betting the All-Star race. I have some self-control. But I will play some DFS just because, why the heck not, you know? But no outrights for me. I don't show any value currently. And I just wouldn't recommend betting this. The only guy I think Bell's going to win, but betting him at plus 190 is borderline insane. So... What's up, Marvin? Chastain or Bowman, last man in? Ooh, that's tough. Let me see what I have not yet updated projections, although I don't really think the guys that race their way in, that's going to affect it. But I'm currently showing Ross Chastain a little higher. Yeah, I got Chastain a little higher because I gave him some dime upside just because of his starting position. Shay's ready to build. All right, I'm going to have to get out of here in a couple minutes, maybe like a minute. If there's any dire questions, I know there's people fighting in the chat, but I can't talk about it here. So I know you guys are having fun with that. But did he pay you to say that, Sniper? What's up, Jim? I have Larson, Bell, Byron, Berry, Keselowski, Nemechek. Thoughts? Not bad to me. I mean, I love Larson. I love Bell. Nothing wrong with Byron. Nothing wrong with Berry. Yeah, perfectly fine. Is leaving Sauer on the table a good idea? I'll answer that in Discord better, Silva. I know you're in there, just because I got to see what the builds look like after I rerun everything. So I'll be able to answer you in a few minutes. It should not take long to rerun everything. Just a couple of guys slotted in differently. So pretty easy. DK cash build, I mean, you're probably looking at Larson, Denny, Bell as your starting points. 2 of those 3, or if you want to throw in Brad instead for the cheaper dominator, you can do that as well. And then I'm assuming Nemechek need a punt option, or Gregson and Hosevar will also be options that slide in quite nicely. Keep the streamer. I can, Hunter. Because I got to do it on the Excel sheet and everyone's going to see what I'm doing. Well, let's see. Might be able to do a couple things if I do switch it over, but I'm not going to do that. All right, let me see if I missed anything else. Let me scroll up a little bit. Who are like for DK Cash? Mainly the PD guys, and then the 2 front runners of Bell and Keselowski, just to lock in those dominator points. Is stacking the front row an option? Yes, I think so. Like, say, for example, Keselowski starts first, leads 50 laps. Bell is able to nudge him in traffic, and he leads the next 150 laps, or whatever. I mean, that can work out, as long as Brad doesn't fade back too much. But, pit stops is going to play a role. Like, say someone screws up, and say Brad screws up, he comes out 14th, doesn't make his way back up. It just depends on how many laps he led earlier and what else he's going to be able to make it back up. So, interesting. I'll have the updated projections, though, and it'll tell a better picture, of course. She just says, Chris, you didn't say happy birthday to the wife? Oh, Astro? Well, if that's true, happy birthday, Astro. Hopefully you have a fantastic day over in Hawaii. But other than that, I think we're going to get out of here. So, yeah, not doing that stuff. Not doing that. Appreciate it, Brady. Fun night to play small, wing it, and have fun. Yeah, do not play heavy tonight, guys. Unless you're rich, don't care. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. But my recommendation is to play light. Just play enough to have fun. And, yeah, if you win, you win. If not, not a big deal. We move on to next week. But appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week. We have a fun one. Coke 600. Definitely more excited about that than this one. But wish y'all the best and see you next time.